Hello and welcome to Trigger Warning. We're back again with, I believe this is episode 62 of the podcast. My word, I'm joined as ever by Graham, mein Stimme Führer Booth. How you doing, fella?
I'm good, man. I'm very, very good.
That's good to hear. Good to hear.
I nearly completely shaved the beard off today. This is as short as I could get without panicking.
I've been toying with much the same thing because this one's getting out of hand now. So, every once in a while I have to burn it back like they do with forests and things. And I've been toying with the idea of doing that. And terrible news tonight, though. Terrible news.
What happened?
My TV's going.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that one night you're without a telly. And I can keep telling you how everything looks slightly better on mine.
Dude, I've got a telly upstairs. It's okay. You can come downstairs.
Yeah, is it 4K though?
No, 1080.
Pathetic.
Hang on, is yours 4K?
No, it's not. No.
Is it a Sony?
No, God, no.
Oh, so my spare is just going to look that little bit better than yours. Oh, it is.
What, just because it's a Sony by default?
Yeah. Of
course.
It's going to look that little bit better than yours. Not massively, just a little bit.
I wouldn't get a Sony telly. No. Not interested.
Oh, really? What brand's yours?
I like Samsung for TVs.
I like LG.
LG?
Yeah, LG.
Right. Blocked. That's it. I'm gone. I'm done with you.
Hang on, you use Samsung.
I can put up with so much for tellies. Yeah, definitely.
Samsung is the brand.
Yeah.
The people who can't afford Apple products buy.
Shut up.
That's what Samsung is.
I'm not for tellies. Spot on. So bright, so clear. All the rest of it.
Well, there you go. Consumer advice from Trigger Warning. Who have we got watching us on YouTube today? By the way, if you're listening to the podcast, we do this live every Tuesday on YouTube. 10:30 p.m. UK time. But of course, if you're a dedicated podcast listener, you've already got your own groove going, and that's absolutely fine. But if you do want to check us out, please do. It's youtube.com/TriggerWarningTV. Let's have a look in live chat here. We got Nat Lynch. Hello, Nat. We got NPC. Lots of zeros. One. Got Paul, Mr. Kill C1. How you doing, sir? And A Chicken.
A Chicken from Singapore.
Oh.
Manny Munster's in as well. NPC said, I don't need a 4K TV. My buyers... Nobody does. It's a scam. The whole thing's a scam.
It does. It just looks that little bit better for PlayStation games with your...
No,
it does. Oh, it does. You're just saying that because you don't have a PlayStation 4 Pro.
No.
And a 4K TV. I do.
It varies. I'm not getting into it anyway. There's one thing and one thing only that we have to talk about tonight. and I'll be honest, this is probably going to fill up the entire show. And obviously it's James Charles, isn't it, Aidan? I'm sure you've got a lot to say about his subscriber purge and all the drama.
Do you know what? I did. Let me just move this a bit. It's getting on tits. I did see that. I did see that, and I had to investigate who he was. And needless to say, I was tremendously impressed with what I discovered. But I just read a story that he lost like 2 million subscribers overnight, and I thought, well done, that man.
Yeah,
I say man, child, boy, thing. Well done. Well done. And may your makeup tutorials do. I think that's what he does, isn't it? Makeup tutorials?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I just read about him on Twitter. That's not really deep research.
He was massive, and he still is, and he still will be. But yeah, do you know what caused it all? Do you know what caused the fuss? He ate the wrong vitamins on camera.
Well, that'll teach him a lesson.
That was it. So the woman whose vitamins he usually eats just threw him under the bus.
Hold on. So when I do that video for Twatsack,
yeah.
If I do the wrong thing, will we lose all our subscribers?
Yeah, I'll just do a cry bully video about everything I've done for you, and imply that you're a sex offender, and then that's it. That's how you do it, apparently, these days.
I accuse you of that every week, and
I know.
It doesn't seem to make any difference with our people, does it?
No, in fact, the channel's doing really well. I'm really happy with the growth so far, to be honest.
It's just a few more subscribers, then we can be refused monetization. Come on, guys, if you haven't subscribed already on YouTube, hit subscribe and touch us on our bell. Go on.
We're only 8 away from monetization now. 8 people.
8 people. No, we're not 8 away from monetization. We're 8 away from a 2 to 3 month wait to be told no. That's what we're 8 away from, but we got to try. Without hope, where would we be?
Mate, I would not be doing well at all if it wasn't for hope. All right, so I guess maybe you didn't have a lot to say about James Charles.
No.
Honestly, I thought that would take up the entire show. There's so much drama there.
When I read it wasn't really as exciting as I wanted it to be, although I did get a chuckle out of 2 million people going, "Oh, you terrible man," overnight.
Oh, here we go. What? Just a second, dude. What's up, darling? I'm working, darling. I don't want to sing a scary song on Minecraft. Why don't you go and close it? Do you remember when I'm working and you've got to go talk to Mummy instead?
I think you should sing a scary song on Minecraft.
I don't know what. Easy me, just ask your Mummy tonight. I'll be done in an hour. Close that door though, darling. Close the door.
That's how it starts, mate. That's how it starts, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. They just get more lippy.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Graham,
full on.
Seriously, that's how it starts.
Oh, I know.
And it does not stop.
And she knows I'm strapped to this. She knows I get up usually and have a word, and a toy would go on this. I put the toys on the top of the shelf here. That's where they go. That's the big shelf. Oh look, you can see my thing already. This is my propaganda that I've received so far.
Oh, this is what I've got.
I got Jeremy Corbyn and vote Tommy.
I got this, the Brexit Party.
Oh, you've had a Brexit Party one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Gel.
And it's got a picture of Saint Nigel of Farage on it.
Oh.
We must leave the EU, and there are the candidates for the new Brexit Party.
Did you see their party political broadcast thing? They've just put it out. It's actually really good. Really, really good. It's got like the clapperboard at the beginning, and they're all sort of going, "Ooh, don't take my nose off," and being all cute, and that Mog lady that's fits in it and everything. And it's really good. It's like warm and friendly, and in terms of a party political broadcast, spot on. Perfect for them. Meanwhile, the Cook Party can't even get the British flag the right way around on the fucking bus.
What are they called today? Real Change UK?
Oh, I don't know. They're always going to be cooks to me, Aidan.
Of course they are. Of course they are. I was going to talk about something that happened to a friend of mine today, but I don't know if I can. I didn't get permission, and I don't know if it should be public. So it's an absolute outrage, though, so I'll bring it up at the next show. I'm sure he'd be fine, but I want to make sure that I'm not going to cause any problems for him by talking about it. But it was absolute outrage. Legal one as well. So, yeah, do that Thursday. Sorry, it just popped in my head, and I thought better of it.
You don't want to risk it, do you?
Unusually for me, I've thought better of it. But I'll tell you what I would like to talk about.
Go on.
The Yorkshire Ripper. Oh, yes. Peter Sutcliffe. He's not a happy bunny.
Why not?
Well, he's in Durham, the Frankland prison in Durham. And they have Freeview, but they vote on what channels they can have. Apparently, they've got rid of the horror channel.
Oh, really?
And Peter is very, very, very upset. The inmates get to vote on which channels to watch, and they have now decided to swap it for another movie channel. The move was backed by most prisoners who voted, but has triggered an outcry amongst others at the Category A prison, which houses some of the country's most evil killers, including Sutcliffe and Sower Monster Evil Huntley, Ian Huntley. A bit of a slip there, wasn't it? Evil Huntley. Apparently there is a quote from Mr. Sutcliffe. He's doing life, remember, for the murder of 13 women He killed at least 13 women. They've taken off the horror channel. This is not his voice. They've taken off the horror channel and swapped it for another film channel. They changed it because somebody complained that it was showing movies for over 18s.
Really?
But we are all adults here. We are men of the world. It's stupid.
He's lost all his wanking material, hasn't he, eh?
Yeah, so apparently inmates in a high-security prison for dangerous people complained that the horror channel just shows 18 certificate films because, you know, they're sensitive and seeing things that remind them of all the evil shit that they've done in their lives clearly bothers them. I'd just make them watch The Human Centipede over and over and over. In fact, I'd make them into a human centipede.
Yeah, I know you would. Yeah, I kind of get it though. Like if you're in there, every now and again, you're just gonna want to watch Wall-E, aren't you? You know, just to take your mind off it. You know, you're surrounded by all that horrible shit, and you're like, right, let's watch horror movies all fucking night.
I don't know if you're a serial killer of 13 people. I imagine your Wall-E days are behind you.
Yeah, him. But what about everyone else? I'm with them.
Well, I'm obviously with St. Peter of Sutcliffe, who is the patron saint of trigger warning, by the way. Daz decided.
Oh, really? Well, we've got to do what Daz says these days.
Oh, absolutely. The cat has just gone outside and opened the door as if I'd gone through it. So that means the neighbours get to listen to my dulcet tones talking about the patron saint of trigger warning, Peter Sutcliffe. Dear me.
Do you know what? There's a girl, one of my neighbours, and she seems a bit of a sensitive type. I've not been able to speak to her that much, and after me shouting for half an hour straight on Sunday, I think she thinks that I'm kind of abusing my family, because you wouldn't assume this, would you? You know,
she might just think you're mental.
Yeah, just rah, do you fucking better? And then I go outside with my daughter and my family, and I'm like, come on, let's go. And it's like they must think, oh my god, he's like a lunatic.
He gets the poison out inside the house.
Yeah. It's like, well, what does he do? You know, because I've had that. You've had that, haven't you, with neighbours? And you're like, oh
god, yeah. I mean, there was one where they were checking. He was throwing a massive paddy. I mean, a huge tantrum, screaming, "No, Daddy, no!" So what I did, I left the house, went outside, went round the front of my house, just stood out there for a bit, just let everyone else deal with this shit. I'm going outside. And I could still hear him scream. Luckily, the neighbours looked out and they could just see me stood in the street. So it was clearly not me doing anything to my son.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, they can get you hanged. They can get you hanged, kids. And
will. Well, I'm not worried about the police, because any police that have come around here within seconds would know everything's fine. Of course they would, you know, and child. I'm not worried about that. In fact, if anything, I'd almost half respect someone for doing it. You know, if they did hear me screaming on a Sunday, stupid bitch, and all that. I'd kind of get it, but it's not the police or services I'm worried about. It's actually like, other human beings, you know, taking it upon themselves. How many real Sunday views, #NotIrish, will it take before they finally just snap and go, I'm going to go save them, that poor family. All right, there's our Soph just hanging around. Hello.
Hi, Soph.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is my private time with my friends. God.
Your cooker looks very clean there, Graham. I think it's the same one we've got, actually. I can't really be sure.
It's not too bad. Like I've told you, the only clean part of my house is the kitchen. I'm like so funny about it. That game I've been playing. Because I've been streaming that game, haven't I? Detroit Become Human. Everyone could see how triggered I get every time I'm in the kitchens. I'm just like, this is disgraceful. The first thing I did on that game, the very first thing I did was try and pick up a cloth.
See, in that game,
yeah,
I know you tell me it got good. I couldn't. I watched the first stream that you did, and I think it's great that we can do day off streams. I'm sure I'll do one where people can just watch me sat on the couch watching Z Nation or Game of Thrones or something.
just
yeah, one hand in my pants.
Yeah.
But when I tuned in, as I like to do, because I like to call you a racist and a paedophile and all these things. I noticed you were just emptying bins, tidying up, running errands, and I thought, I can't watch this.
It was an hour of it. It really made you work. It's one of the downsides of games, you know, like it just...
No, that doesn't happen in any of the games I play.
Okay.
I think I need to install Euro Truck Simulator.
just
do a couple of runs to Leeds.
People get addicted to that. People get shockingly addicted.
Which is strange, because when I tried it, I didn't get addicted to it. It's getting quite the opposite. I was sat there. I was like, I'm going. Just in live chat there, Crimson Succubus says, hello guys. Hello, Crimson Succubus. And Manzi Monster came up with a great idea. If Fred West had a podcast.
Oh, yeah?
But Fred's no longer with us. He was a terrible man. The Harold Shipman podcast. Do you know what's terrible? Harold Shipman, the most prolific serial killer in the UK. He killed a lot of people in Hyde, and do you know why I still feel guilty to this day? We went there a couple of times, me and the missus, and I don't know why, but I remember we wanted to get something to eat while we were there, and all the benches were taken up with old people. And I remember saying distinctly, someone should do something about this. And it's almost as if, from my words, came action. And
maybe he was one of the people sat on the bench, and he just looked.
Maybe he was one of the people stood near us, holding his pasty from Greg's, thinking, "There's nowhere to sit here. I'm going to kill all of these old people."
That mean-looking man was right. I nearly registered at that place, you know.
It's Shipman's Clinic.
Yeah. Seriously, I did. I'd moved nearby, needed a doctor's, nearly went in there. Yeah, it was horrible.
You'd have been okay, though, wouldn't you?
Well, I wasn't in his range, was I? Really?
No, you weren't target market.
No. But still, what if you just didn't like me? Because I was a gobby little bugger then.
Dead. You just give you a little injection and away you go.
Yeah.
Sleepy days.
Dude, we're up to 996 subscribers. 4 away. So
quite nice. I knew I should have put a note about the stream on earlier this morning, but I've had to just... Well, you know what's going on at the minute.
Yes, I do.
So I just run out of time horribly right now. I knew I should have made a mention earlier. Anyway, we need to get on to another story. Because there's quite a few I wanted to talk about. Have you heard of the company Bayer?
Yes.
Very big German company. About a year ago, they picked up another company for $63 billion. Last June, $63 billion. They bought Monsanto.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But along with buying Monsanto, they inherited some litigation. Because people are saying that Roundup gives you cancer.
Yes.
And there's all the things about Monsanto, you know, killing the bees, doing this, doing that, doing the other. So they paid $63 billion for this company and have just been successfully sued for $2 billion for giving 2 people cancer. That's now, I can say giving them because the courts have decided. But of course they're appealing with all their might. But this isn't there are a lot more of these cases coming. A hell of a lot more.
There's been a few as well. If you go back, like every couple of months, there's been much smaller payouts, and there's a few cases going back. So what's happened is some 70-year-old won compensation because they used it for 20 years and then went, that gave me cancer. And nobody went, but you're 70 and you used it for 20 years, you're fine. And because that case was won, it's had this knock-on effect now where a couple more have been creeping in. And before we know it, we're at $2 billion.
A couple more. Monsanto is the named defendant in similar US lawsuits filed by, wait for it, 13,400 plaintiffs.
Yeah.
13,400. I don't know. You know, even if they don't get a full $2 billion, but if you get a few million apiece, Bayer. has paid a lot of money. But in this article, it's on Bloomberg, so it's, refusal. It says, while it was a risky move to ask for an award of more than $1 billion, and the damages will probably be reduced by the judge, the three verdicts against Bayer show jurors are convinced by evidence against the company. Now, Bayer do say, look, there's 40 years of evidence that glyphosate isn't carcinogenic, but most of these reports are from Monsanto. So,
I know, but I am a little bit suspicious. I mean, for a start, it's fucking California, isn't it? It's up there in San Francisco. So this is, in terms of legal sort of punitive damages and that, they're always the worst on that in California.
But it's Monsanto, isn't it?
It is a weird one though. Like, how are these 70-year-old people managing to prove it? How are they managing to make a connection? I don't understand.
I say good luck to them. I say
good luck to dude, if you can do it, great, good for you.
If anyone can convince a jury that they've been given cancer by a chemical product, Dean Sumner just to subscribe. Thank you, Dean. Get to see me wave the cock. That's going to be really strange for the podcast people that don't watch this. They won't understand, or maybe they will. It's Monsanto. There's nothing good coming out of them anyway. So, hail mind them. Good luck to everybody. If you've been given cancer from a chemical, and the jury agrees with you, fuck yeah, take them for every penny you can get. In the UK, you'd probably be awarded anything up to £15 and £20.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We need to find someone to blame for our boldness. Finally, take a California company, obviously. Do it in California. Finally, fund TriggerWarning properly. Get a big Alex Jones set. Sit there screaming for 4 hours a night.
That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? As I was saying, like on Twitter the other day, I'd do this full time in a heartbeat.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, that's why I'm so excited about every subscriber we get, because when my girl goes to school, I just want to do this every day, man.
Oh, I'd take the financial hit to do this all the time. I really would. I absolutely adore it. I adore all the shows we do, and I want to make them better. So,
well, that's the thing. It is, it's less, isn't it? Obviously, like if I was, and I have been tempted. I've looked at jobs, and there's some that I could very easily get, and we'd be way more comfortable. But it's one of them, isn't it? She keeps asking me. I'm like, we're nearly at 1,000. She's like, what happens then? We can apply for funding. And if we had been funded, we would have made £4 last month, darling. £4.
We're nearly there. This one is quite an annoying one. It's one you flagged up to me earlier.
Go on.
As you know, it's 2 years thereabouts since the bombing at the Manchester Arena, which killed a lot of people. An Islamic terrorist went to an Ariana Grande concert, went into the foyer, waited till the kids were coming out from the concert, and then detonated a bomb. I don't think it was a vest, I think it was a backpack. Killed and injured, changed the lives of a lot of people. Despicable, cowardly attack.
I'm seeing, you know what? Seriously, a couple of my friends have become very radicalized off the back of that. Like, I was thinking about it today, and I can see it. There's one person in particular, I'm not going to mention who was closely related to it. And he says he's all right, and like he's had articles saying how brave he was and everything like that. But the dude's off the deep end. He's completely off the deep end. Like he's sort of gone into that whole punch Nazis, smash the fash thing, but to the point where he's obviously not seeing the world as it is anymore. It's just a big fight, and what I mean in terms of radicalization is, like, rather than hating Muslims and hating Islam, he's gone the other, like, no, we can't. But he's gone full bore to the point where he seems blind to the atrocities that are obviously associated with certain strands of Islam, and he viciously hates anyone that would dare to criticize Islam. Do you know what I mean? It's like to the point where you are justified in being violent towards them. You know, and it's like, well, and it's radicalization. It's exactly what the bomb was meant to do, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Create division and create divides, and
send people quite far one way and the other. You know, because that's when the healthy discourse is gone, isn't it? But yeah, sorry.
You like to think as a human being, though, don't you, that in the event of something like that, that you would accept it's a radical lunatic, a dreadful, filthy plague that did it.
Yeah.
But I can't help thinking that if it were my child there, I don't know that I ever could be reasonable again. I don't think I could. I don't think I could live without lashing out at everybody, and unreasonably so. Yeah. Which means the terrorist has won.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing with this guy. He spouts so much nonsense, like incendiary nonsense, calls for political violence, genuinely. And here's the thing, man. I don't call him out on it. I don't challenge him on it because of what he went through with the bomb. And then I'm thinking, that's fucking part of it, isn't it? I'm allowing him to just, you know, I'm not stepping in, whereas I probably should do. I'm allowing him to just radicalize further and further.
Lots of bad shit came from the bombing, though, didn't it, Gemma? That's when I did that. I did that live leak show about it. That was the one show. I mean, I never watch any of the shows back, but that's the one that was the most uncomfortable to do, because it was the one that genuinely had the feels in it all the way through. You know, it was terrible. And I went off my head at Alex Jones after all the bullshit he came out with about it. And it was a terrible event. It affected lives. And apparently we're allowing salt to be rubbed in the wound.
Yeah.
Because almost 2 years to the day, a huge billboard has appeared on the side of Manchester Arena. Now, this is a big old building, okay? And a huge billboard has appeared on the side of the building promoting the Quran and an Islamic charity. Now, some people might say, oh, that's cool. That's fine, you know. It shows inclusivity. They want to be inclusive. Maybe. The quote on it is, to save a life is as if you have saved all mankind. And it was paid for by Islamic Relief, an organisation which is banned in Israel for allegedly funding Hamas. Now, some people watching and listening will say, well, Israel, you know, blah, blah, whatever, blah, blah. In 2016, HSBC, not exactly the most benevolent of institutions, but certainly not terrorist supporters, HSBC cut ties with the group after concerns that cash meant for humanitarian purposes was being sent to terrorist groups abroad. The government of Bangladesh has also put restrictions on the group, alleging funds were being used to promote radicalism. The United Arab Emirates government also blacklisted the group as an alleged terrorist front in 2016. So just to put all this together, an Islamic group with alleged links to terrorism, and not just like, they might be terrorists because they're Muslims, good links to terrorism. They've been blacklisted by numerous countries, and a bank now advertise on the side of a building where an Islamic terrorist killed a lot of innocent people. That's some thinking, isn't it? That's some thinking. What kind of filthy, dirty, fucking vermin even think of doing that? And let alone who goes, yeah, no problem. No problem, yeah, stick that up. No due diligence. What could be wrong with that? What could be wrong with that? You know, and it'll be some leftist, it will be some leftist that got the idea, you know, to accept it and went, no, that's good, it shows inclusivity.
Yeah, when you're in your little brainstorming bubble and you're like, yeah, this will show. And I mean, ultimately, outside of all the allegations for funding terrorism and all the other stuff, like, you know, because you can't necessarily act on allegations, and I do speak out against that quite often. Like, I just find it disgusting when supposed charities spend this much money advertising themselves in such a public manner. You know,
what are they advertising?
Yeah. I mean, just that alone, like, that will have cost thousands and
Oh
thousands.
yeah.
And you get it a lot of the cancer ones. When I really want to annoy myself, I go on there because all the stuff's public, you know, of like what money comes in and what goes out, and a lot of them. But I'm thinking of one in particular. Oh, what was it called? Macmillan. Macmillan spends the same amount on fundraising as it does funds that come in.
Oh yeah.
It's an exact 1-to-1 ratio, and it's just advertising themselves, and what they actually rely on is grants and people leaving money in their wills. Basically, I want my house to go to Macmillan because my wife died of cancer and they were really good, and that's how people do it. They give them 10K or whatever, and
Just say sorry. Thank you to Julian Parker for donating. That was very, very good of you. Thank you so much, sir. We salute you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
But here's the thing with this, Graham. Even if it was a legit charity that happened to be Islamic, and there are a lot of them, for whatever people think, there's the ones that go out and feed the homeless. They don't try and convert them. They just do it.
Yeah, of course. Like any religion, like any area of anything, of course.
But if you ran a legit one, would you think it was a good idea to go, do you know what, we'll put that up on the side of that building to show what good folks we are? You'd think, when you go, do you know what, let's leave that for a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's put it somewhere else because we've got to be sensitive here. And these kind of things, even when they are well meant, you know, I've always said the leftists do more to fuel the right than the right ever do.
Oh yeah. Of course,
that old chestnut of the road to hell being paved with good intentions. What is this going to do? Because even my blood boiled about it, and I don't particularly give a tinker's cuss about Muslims one way or another, you know. This is going to foster bad feeling.
Like, hey, give us money. It's like, what the fuck, guys? Could you put it somewhere else? I mean...
But when it's one that's linked to terrorism,
yeah,
I don't think it's unreasonable to imagine that they thought this was pretty cool. Yeah, I just don't. Why couldn't they be that horrible to think? Oh well, it's another poke in the eye. It's another one. What does it matter? If they got links to terrorist organisations, they're not going to be good people, are they?
No. Well, yeah. If you take it at its worst, and all the allegations are true, HSBC was right to cut ties to them because they don't know where the money's going. Then if you take all of that as being true, then this is astonishingly disgusting. Like,
also, just the advertising company should have said no.
Yeah,
The arena should have said no.
Yeah. There's several layers where
of no.
Somebody should have gone, this isn't a good idea. Yeah. But another level to it as well is like, you know, what about that girl that just got done for a hate crime for putting up a billboard that just had the definition of woman on it?
Oh, that makes me too mad. That makes me so mad.
But in terms of like, you know, there's layers there where people step in and go, wait. This could spread hate, you know, and it's like, well, what about this?
But it depends on what hate it is. There's good hate and bad hate, isn't there? You know, it's like that video I sent you the other day of that person who worked in gender studies and gender inclusivity, the trans woman that went after that young lady with a fucking hammer.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to say anything about it. You know, you just got to like, oh no, it's just the exception. Yet we're seeing more and more of them, and the problem is they're a very small minority anyway. And it's funny, as individuals, as you know, I don't have any problem with trans people in the least. Neither here nor there. You know, everyone should be allowed to live the life provided they're not hurting other people. But these activists actually are. They're taking away a woman's right to be a woman. And the protections therein, they're taking them away from them. But it's one comment that I saw was, this is almost like a con. It's like psychiatrists treating people with mental problems and deciding the best solution is to convince everybody else that it's not a mental problem instead of fixing the issue.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got to be careful of your phrase. Like, I don't want to say that all trans people are fucking barking mad, because it's clearly not the case. But there is something amiss that must make you want to be something other than you are. I'm not saying a bad thing, it's just something. So why can't we accept there's really shitty people that are trans now? And now this self-ID thing, there was that link you shared with me that I couldn't look at because I've been blocked by that person already, who I'd never interacted with, didn't know who it was. I must be on some great block lists.
Oh, yeah, they're getting epic now, yeah.
Lecturing Alicia Milano that you could have put cis in front of woman, to be fair, because some ladies have penises. Well, no, they fucking don't. They just don't.
Elisa's all like bending the knee instantly, like, oh, of course, if I could edit it, I would. It's like you're erasing trans people, and it's like, well, why would you? I mean, if you're gonna go with bullshit nonsense like that, it's like, well, why are you asking to erase women's experiences? Like, it's the same logic, then, isn't it? It's fucking nonsense. Which was great, by the way, because Alyssa Milano was calling a sex strike, wasn't she? Which is exactly what the fundamentalist Christians want.
Yes.
It's what they want. They all went, yeah, great.
Abstinence. Well done. Well done, those people. That's what we want, some of that. But I have to admit, I'm with Mama Julia here. Who is Julia Hartley Brewer, by the way. Yeah. Another patron saint of Trigger Warning. Oh, what a lady. What a lady.
Go on, I'll tell you about her in a minute. Go on, what did she say?
But she's offended by having to put cis in front of women, because you don't. They're women.
Did you say women?
Trans women are trans women. Women are women, and you shouldn't put cis in front. The overwhelming majority do not need a subtitle. That's what they are. Trans women are trans women. It's got to stop this insistence that everyone gives up everything they know to accommodate some people in a way that can't we give them rights and things without erasing fact?
Well, it's a part of it is redefining what the term right actually means. You've got the right, and you should have the right to live whatever life you want and whatever makes you happy. And I am passionate about that. But your rights end at me. You know what I mean? And you can't be telling me.
That's how I see it. It's like gay marriage. I'm all for it. I've been to one. It was a lovely affair, actually. That almost sound like some of my best friends are. But it's this insistence that they be allowed to marry in the church. Now, I am an atheist. I'm a devout atheist. I despise man-made religion. I don't despise the religious. I hate religion. However, shouldn't the religious people have the right to have their beliefs and say, but if we do that, that's trouncing our beliefs, our rights. So I don't think you should be able to force the church to marry same-sex couples, because I don't think it's right any more than it'd be right for the church to force them not to be a same-sex couple.
I bet the Tories are gutted that they didn't hold on to that one, because you remember at the start of 2010, 11, they brought that in of because it already happened with Labour. They won. Whoever you were, in fact, straight people still can't do what's it called? The other thing that's not marriage.
Civil partnership, yeah.
And that's still not been expanded to me. So me as a non-religious person, I don't have the same rights as a gay person.
No, but you can have non-denominational marriages and civil marriages.
No, but I can't specifically get that. I can't get that a civil partnership. I can't get that exact thing.
Not without having a few yards of cock, no.
It was brought, which it makes me see that it was kind of cynical the way they brought it in. But the Tories did a great trick when they first came in, because they started whispering about how they'll never bring in gay marriage, and everyone forgot that all that fight's been won. Everyone forgot, and suddenly it became a fight against the Tories to bring in gay marriage, and it was a huge distraction. It was a huge distraction whilst they just cut funding for everything else, whilst everyone was fighting for it, and they were marching, and they just played them like absolute bitches, and finally they got gay marriage, which again is kind of a silly thing, really, for the government to force upon you, because some churches were already doing it anyway. And like, it's
Here's
like,
the thing, though.
let them do it, you know.
One of our viewers here, Norfolk in Senny, I guess that Kenny. Why would gay people want to get married in a church that says they are a sin? Because they want to eradicate that as well. And not just gay people. It's not like everyone seems to believe nowadays that their rights supersede everybody else's, particularly the majority. Everyone wants to be special. Everyone wants to be the centre of the fucking universe. And the bad news is, boys and girls, none of us are. We're just specks of nothing in the grand scheme of things, you know. Look how old the universe is. It doesn't give a fuck about us.
No.
But everyone's important. Everyone's special. Religion does that. It gives people this unfounded belief that they're more important than they are. You know, we're just another animal passing through. But everyone wants to be everything. Everything should be what I want. Fuck what you want. What I want. And you know, no one can just live like that without taking it off somebody else. And that's the world we live in now. We live in anger. We live in Twitter storms, for fuck's sake. I messaged you earlier about that, didn't I, with the Eurovision Song Contest? They're going to have Twitter storms. And I said to you in the text, say it out loud, Graham. Say it out loud. How
Twitter.
does that feel?
Twitter just is a storm now, permanent. It's a permanent storm. I've just got to say as well, NPC has pointed out that straight people can have civil partnerships. Apparently, the case was won last year. I wasn't aware of that, so thanks for letting me know. I'd stand corrected.
Just get married in a registry office.
What's that? Yeah, but there's another thing where that marriage isn't a part of it at all. You know, not at all. It's a separate thing that only gay people could have. And I know, it was about a year ago that I remember people kicking up a fuss about it.
It just made me laugh that, you know, well, we want that too. Why? What benefit? Well, because they've got it. Oh. Okay, whatever makes you happy. I get told, some people still tell me, why did you get married? That's ridiculous. I don't know, I love my wife and we decided we'd get married.
It's a weird one, though. I got to tell you this, man. In terms of the trans thing, there's a couple of things going on there. Isn't it like Mental Health Awareness Week this week? And everyone's going on about how
I have no idea.
It's every other fucking month. There's some sort of awareness for some sort of mental issue, and everyone plays the same game where they're like, it's fine, it's okay to not be okay, and all that rhetoric is there, and it's true. You know, for the most part, it is true. Sometimes you need to just keep your head down and get on with it.
I think there's too much of it about now.
Well, but the point is, though, it's okay to have a mental illness and it's okay to get help. And that's kind of the thing that gets passed around, apart from when you're trans. Because when you're trans, and there's several different reasons someone could be trans, and most of them involve mental illness of some description. And that's the one thing where people go, you can't say it's a mental illness. And it's like, well, hold up. I thought there was nothing wrong with having a mental illness. And I agree with that. I don't think there is anything wrong with having a mental illness. And I think if that mental illness involves, you know, body dysmorphia, then it's fine. We should be allowed to talk about it. And and it's fine that you want to get help and all the rest of it. It's great. It's a wonderful thing. But there's a way, but it exposes like the hollowness of the rhetoric around mental health.
Oh, it's just people virtue signaling again.
Of course it is. Part. Yeah, it's selective beyond words, because everyone's saying it's fine to have it, and then it's like, don't you dare say that being trans is a mental health issue. It's like, whoa. Why not? What's wrong with saying it?
One of the worst drubbings I got that had me painted as being transphobic when I said my belief, my opinion, and that's all it is. It's not public policy. Is that it is a mental condition that in many cases is treated by altering the person's body and letting them live the life they think they should.
Yeah.
And if they can do that without hurting anyone else, I support it wholeheartedly. Why wouldn't I, if it makes people happy? If it stops them being depressed for their entire life, or worse still, harming themselves? Brilliant. Just brilliant, whatever works.
Of course, man.
But when I said that, I was like, well, that's transphobic. Tom Mason just subscribed. Thank you, sir. Why would that be transphobic? Why is that transphobic? It's not transphobic. It makes you wonder. That I think I got banned off that Facebook group for it, didn't I? Because I had to go and ask the trans people in the office, or one of them, I think I asked him, and it is him, it's female, so I got it right. Did I just cock up? And he went, no, it's them. You know, it's the activists. The activists, nothing's ever good enough.
Yeah.
You know, you've just got to accept it no matter what. Otherwise, it's actual violence.
Yeah. And it is. We need to draw a line. We need to draw a big, strong line between actual trans people and trans activists, and there's very little crossover. Very little. There's a lot of people who are getting very upset protecting the trannies.
Well, it's I did that when I did a little broadcast of my own, which I wanted to keep going, and I spoke about the paedophiles on Twitter, which was actually what triggered me to do the broadcast. And there's people supporting those groups, the non-offending paedophiles, whatever the fuck they're called now. I've forgotten the hashtag because obviously I've not looked at it since.
MAPs, MAPs.
MAPs. There we go. Was it MAPs? What does that stand for now? Non-acting.
Minor attracted person, I think, or minor.
That's it. Minor attracted person and
no map.
No map. That's it. But there were people supporting them who claimed, at least, and I have no reason to disbelieve them. Then it's like, no, I'm not a pedophile. I just believe that these guys are doing it right. You know, they're not acting on it. I'm like, dude, they're pedos. You know, and it's all well and good saying, oh, this is my mate Brian. He's a pedo, but he don't act on it. Did you let him hang out with your daughter? Have you ever stopped to think that that's who he's thinking of when he's pulling the head off her at night? How does that make you feel? I'm not saying hang them. You know, if they don't act and they don't act on it for the rest of their days, they've not committed a crime. So they shouldn't be punished for what's inside. And we have to extend that to everyone. Because what's in here is your business. It's only when you let it out that it gets to be a problem.
Yeah, of course.
But still, palling out with them, protect it. It's like, oh, did you know, sometimes you just got to step the fuck away from a cause, because one of these days, one of those people you're protecting is going to fuck a kid. And all anyone will remember is you were there going, no, he's a great bloke. Give him a chance.
Yeah. I got to say this as well, and I've got one more thing on the trans thing, and let me be clear, this isn't connected to paedophilia. This isn't like, oh, and speaking of maps and all that, no, this is totally separate. But I think in terms of the PR and the nightmare and all the rest of it, in terms of like the TERFs die, shut up TERFs and all that horrible nonsense, I think the thing that's going to solve it is when people who were born male hold every single women's world record for every major sporting thing on the planet, and we are going to get there. It's in there. And right now you've got them. There's people who are calling themselves doctor, but they're a doctor of something completely unrelated. Going, there is no connection between testosterone and performance and all that, even though there is. And there's no science actually claiming that there's no scientific way of determining male from female. I can't even say it. Saying that we quoted it, didn't we? There's no basic or even complicated test for it. And it's like, I can think of a couple straight away.
Let me do one just now. Hold on. Hello, fella. Yep, there we go. I don't think I'm a lady.
But I do think that in terms of the activists and in terms of the nonsense and in terms of the misinformation, I think the more trans people beat world records and get first prizes, once they've got them all, then at some point someone's going to have to go, all right, yeah, we were lying. We were lying. Like the main one's that doctor who's got some cycling. Oh, that
cycling doctor. Yes, yeah, I know. And it's just like, hey, what are you do? An engineer? What the fuck are you doing?
But she's there like dead proud in a gear going, I'm the world champion. And then she's also going,
Graham, you mean, I'm the world champion.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with me going through puberty as a man. It's like, oh, you've definitely got skin in that game. And she's one of the most prolific. I think she's blocked 80,000 people on Twitter now.
I don't know.
Myself included.
I don't know if she's blocked me yet. I've forgotten her name, so I can't check. It probably. It wouldn't surprise me. People seem to block me all the time now without me talking to them. But that reminds me, when you have these experts.
Yeah.
Someone was. I was chatting with an anti-vaxxer, as you do, and I was doing all the usual things of going, "You're mental. You're a selfish prick. Vaccinate your fucking children." And they were telling me how measles is character building and stuff like that.
What?
Oh yeah, it's character building to have illnesses. I asked how character building polio was, and they said polio doesn't exist. It's a different disease now. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We eradicated it. No. It's just shifted to a different disease. Is that right? Because they do that. But anyway, I digress, because we'll have to do an anti-vaxxer special one day.
Yeah.
They gave me this evidence from this doctor, and they said it's so powerful that this doctor, she's been banned from these countries for blowing this wide open. I was like, well, that sounds pretty convincing. I need to know more about this. Went and looked up the doctor. Chiropractor. It's a fucking chiropractor. A quack. And not even a quack in medicine. Just a fucking backcracker. Who thinks like, yeah, there you go, your life's better. No, it's not. I only feel better because that was intensely uncomfortable. And so it was a chiropractor that they put on as their expert on vaccination. They'll find one doctor.
Yeah.
And they throw him out all the time. I go, I forget his name, but I'm like, well, he was disbarred. That's because he was telling the truth. He's like, no. He was disbarred because he's dangerous. But all other doctors, and it's not just your internet with the tinfoil hats that did it, it's people we know that believe this shit, that all the doctors are on the payroll. All of them.
Oh, yeah. And again, we talked about this before, haven't we? It's great that we live till 80 now, isn't it? And that's good enough for me. And yeah, there will be some people that have bad reactions to it. But here's the thing, man, because I don't want to get into the whole anti-vax thing too much, but there is a point, because I've thought about it a lot, and it's like we're getting more and more of these clusters of kids getting sick, yeah, and that's obviously a bad thing, but I fall very much on the libertarian, the non-coercion principle, right? So I'm not comfortable with the idea of like making laws that force people to get vaccinated. And I know in America, there's some states, like I know some parts of New York, they're actually fining you if they find out you've not done it. And there's a line there where I'm not comfortable with, but I don't necessarily know what the answer is either.
No, that's the tricky part, isn't it? Because they are endangering the lives of those for whom the vaccine doesn't work. Because it's not going to work for everybody. For those who can't have it, for whatever reason, medical reasons. And they're the ones that are in danger, and it's that thing, isn't it? I don't want to see people compelled to do it. But at the same time, if you're risking somebody else's life, your decision is impacting other people. So that's when anti-vaxxers usually tell me that herd immunity is bullshit, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We had a comment on one of our YouTube videos today. Let me see if I can find this, because it was an absolute stormer, mate. It was absolutely wonderful. Let me see if it comes up in my... 'cause I don't think it even came up in my notifications.
No, I think we're only on selected notifications for Twitter, for YouTube.
Yeah, I got the one where Hamit Papool said, "Trigger warning, if I wanted to watch two old men toss each other off, I'd go elsewhere." And yet here you are.
And here you are. That's the one that keeps calling me a dumbass, and I'm like, but then when I'm like, well, what is it I'm getting wrong? And he's like, well, I couldn't possibly explain it to you. I couldn't. And it's so lazy. It's so lazy, and it's like, well, either that's because you're too stupid to know why you think what you think. Because I'm happy to be wrong, and I'm happy to be corrected. I have been just tonight, but either you're too stupid or you're so ideologically bent you're just so deep in some rabbit hole of extremism, which is my assumption with him specifically, that you can't explain it to me because it involves brainwashing for hours and hours and hours, all this stuff about the patriarchy and internalized whiteness and all that shit. That's a cult, and it needs to go in. And you can't just explain it logically and clearly to me because it involves brainwashing. Bless him.
What?
So he just keeps calling me a dumbass.
I can't bring that up with me because it wasn't in the notification. By the way, 2 more subscribers to go to hit our milestone of 1,000.
No,
2 more.
I know.
Wow. No, this guy said that going to the doctors is where you get the cancer because they put the cancer in you. And these people are out there and they're allowed to breed. They're allowed to breed and they're allowed to make more stupid people. And that's what he said. You know, it's a con. You go to the doctors and they put the cancer in you. That's what they do. It's in the medicine, the cancer. Get cancer tablets.
Here's the thing, man. I hate doctors. I really hate doctors. I'm not registered at a GP. I haven't been since I was 15. Literally, like if shit happens, it's either bad enough to go to casualty, or occasionally a walk-in centre like New Zealand. I had to go to the doctors. Vietnam, I had to go and get my chest done. Like, you know, or a broken leg or whatever. I hate doctors. I can't fucking stand them. I don't think they're secretly gonna whatever me. I just think that. I just want no part of it unless I fucking need it. But me doing that isn't hurting anyone else. And my daughter's registered, and she gets a sniff, and I'm in there with her. Do you know what I mean? That's why, because my personal choice, I'm not going to put that on her. And I hate doctors. I've got, for various reasons, I'm not going to go into on air. But I have certain things about them that trigger me, and I just hate them. And they know it. They know it when I'm talking to them. They can see that I hate them, and that I've got absolute disdain for every single one of them. But it's not affecting anyone.
I like it when they use Google.
Oh, yeah.
Because they get different things to me. Because when I put anything in Google, whatever's wrong with me, it's basically terminal cancer. Don't matter what it is.
Joe Public's asking me where I got the cup. It's from Big Hero 6. It's a Disney cup from it's Big Hero 6's, what's he called? Baymax. It's his head.
A chicken wants to know why you hate doctors.
Very well. Well, I said 15. I had a very bad experience with one when I was 15, and that's probably all that needs to be said on that. I realised some of the limits of the system and how it could be abused by unscrupulous people.
Because obviously not all doctors are good. But I do believe the overwhelming majority, it's like police. You know, everyone's like, fuck the police and all that. I believe the overwhelming majority of police officers get into that for exactly the right reasons. They want to help people.
Stunning. Really good people. Really care. Don't get it right all the time. Of course they don't.
And they get ground down. And they become cynical because they're human. But every police officer I've found, well, no, not everyone, Jesus. But, you know, the overwhelming majority, if I've spoke to them decently and with respect, they've treated me in a similar fashion.
There's a guy who always used to fuck with me when I did homeless work in Manchester. On Tuesdays, I used to teach photography. And it was so funny going out with all these like wreckheads with these really nice cameras, because the police that didn't know us, the younger ones, would stop us because every single one of them was known to them. So it's like, why are you walking around with these like 500-pound cameras, basically? And we got stopped so many times and checked. But there was an older guy who knew us, knew the system, you know, the proper ones that really know what they're doing. He'd always fuck with us and like come up, what are you doing? You go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then, fucking Tony, innit, dickhead? But he was real policeman. He was a really good guy. I got to tell you as well, I was in the park. Was it yesterday, day before? I can't remember. I think it was at the weekend. And it was yesterday. And I was pushing her on the swing, and she really loved it. And then a police car came round, and they stopped at the ice cream truck, and they got out and had an ice cream. And my daughter was just like, oh, no way, because to her, all she knows about police is that they look after people. Like, she told someone off for standing too close, you know, crossing the yellow line at the train station. And she didn't want him to get sucked in as the train went past. So she went and told this man to get past. And then she went, Daddy, I'm a police officer now. And I was like, oh, God bless your face. And so she ran over to him. She got out the thing. She ran over. And they were having a break, which I stand behind. I'm more than happy for that. They were obviously checking the part, but they were doing it in a nonchalant, nice way. And they gave us so much attention and so much fuss, and they really built her up, and they're super lovely. And I couldn't have hoped for anything better in terms of her interaction with him.
Oh man, they're great. They used to do that with Junior when he was young, and now he just says hello to them. But when he was, I remember we were out shopping once, and a police car was coming round. So I said, oh, "There's the police." So he waved, and they put the blues and twos on for him. And but a lot of them in some of the areas we're at were surprised, like genuinely, when my son would go up and say, "Oh, hello,"
Yeah.
and just look up to them. They were genuinely surprised. I think they don't think, because they don't meet the best of society, do they? So obviously that's going to affect how they are with everybody. It's unavoidable. If you just meet the shit people every day, you start thinking everyone's shit. You can't help it.
You can't be like that with him. I learned doing homelessness stuff because I used to have the direct numbers to the jail cells, because if one of my lads went missing, I'd just phone direct and say, have you got so-and-so in? And they'd just fucking tell me because so few people rang directly to the cells that they just, like, a lot of support work is getting people to sort of, like, just spill the beans on you when they probably shouldn't. Like they should eventually, like, if they went and asked and got permission, they would, and it's all fine. And they've signed to say that I can do it, but still, you learn, most of them are fine, really lovely. And I'd rather my daughter learn at a base level that they're good people, and then eventually she'll learn, but a few of them are dicks. Keep an eye out.
That's the
just
same,
like anyone.
Just like everybody. But I've raised my kids to think all emergency service workers are absolutely awesome people, and I'm gonna let him have that in his head for as long as possible, because the world's ugly enough and it'll stamp the shit out of you at some points. But until that has to happen, I want him to think the world's a good place full of reasonably good people.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like. That's what I'd like.
Of course. Hey, there's always a date when innocence is lost. It's always going to happen, and it's always coming. But you might as well give them a reasonably happy base.
Yes.
Before that day comes.
Yeah, before you say, "I'm sorry, kid, it's all a lie." But
everything's shit.
We're just over an hour, so I have to say, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the Trigger Warning Project, and I really hope you do, please go to patreon.com/triggerwarningtv if you want to become one of our patrons, or you can go over to the website www.triggerwarning.tv, and there's a donate button on there. If you're already on live.triggerwarning.tv, it's just under the chat box. We've also got Bitcoin now, I guess. BTC wallet number, haven't we? Address number. God, that sounds like... We've got an internet number.
Just if you want to send Bitcoin, there's a thing in the description.
Yes.
That's the best way to say it.
And if you want to go and get the Brave browser, which is a really cool browser, it's built on Chrome, but it's spotlessly clean, really quite secure out the box. We've put in various places our promo code with them. If you use it for 30 days, they give us some cash as well. But I use Brave browser a lot, and you can tip various websites basic attention tokens, which I think is built on Ethereum, and it's a nice way of just dropping some love. And apparently you can get paid for looking at select ads or something. I haven't done that yet, but that's the Brave browser. Do give that a go. But if you can't donate money or don't want to, that's cool. Help us out. Share the links. Do the things. Do the bits and pieces. Do all that stuff. Help us get it out there so we can get more people into the beautiful Trigger Warning family of gorgeousness and weaponized spastics. And, help us get out there. And if you can't even be asked doing that, if it's just too painful, just come and watch and hang out with us. That's more than good enough, and probably more than we deserve. It's that mosquito, you son of a bitch. You can't grab anything with the shitty hand brace things on. So there we go. That's the whoring. That's the whoring done for now.
Seven Dwarfs just said thank you, I'll be back, and then buggered off. He thought we were done. We should have gone before part 2 occurs. I've got to say as well, dude, I was thinking, and I'm saying it on air because I'd like people's feedback as well, because obviously we tend to go live in the evening, but we put out clips from the show for you to share. So it's one of them, isn't it? Just to catch people, because you're not necessarily going to sit down and watch 2 hours of us just doing this. You might just want to see a little highlight. So what I was thinking was, why don't I start putting the highlights out in the morning or earlier in the day? Because then if you are a subscriber, you kind of know then, like, oh, you get a ding, but you know it's like not the live show if you've already seen it, or if you've not seen the live show, and vice versa. Do you get what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No.
It's just so people know what's going on. So if there's a notification at 11 a.m. and you watch the show, you're like, oh, well, I watched it last night.
Exactly.
So I know
You're not watching it again. No.
Yeah,
you're
not going to sit there for 2 minutes before you go, I've seen this. But you might go, I saw that. It was great. I'm going to click on it, give it a share, because it was a good bit, that. I'm glad Graham clips it out.
The original doc says, I stick the full show on, get a bottle of lotion and a box of tissues and go at it. Hard.
Good lad. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the way it should be.
But you should be drunk as well, and preferably medicated, but you're most of the way there, it seems.
Yeah, well, it's just the clips are just like a little, the first taste is free, isn't it? And then you realise, oh, I need more. Dude, I want to bring up this thing, Soph. Have you seen Soph, the YouTube channel?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know, it's at Sewer Nugget on Twitter, and BuzzFeed just put out a huge hit piece on her. Huge hit piece on a 14-year-old girl.
Of course,
her crime being she's too right wing. She's red pilling people apparently, and she's very offensive.
Imagine internet aides BuzzFeed having an opinion like that. Have they tried to dox the young lady yet?
I'm not sure, because I didn't give them the pleasure of a click. I was like, fuck you. So what I did do, because I didn't give them a pleasure of a click, was I looked at her metrics, and she's been losing subs consistently for weeks. She's had a couple of good days. There was obviously a hit piece put out at the start of this month. And at the start of this month, she gained 12,000 subscribers. But now that BuzzFeed has gone hardcore and heavy into her, just today she's gained 21,000. And yesterday was 3,000. She's doing very, very well. So BuzzFeed have magically updated their thing, because I've been watching the writers, that Mark Di Stefano, that prick, and one of the other ones,
dreadful human being.
I watched their Twitter feeds, because it's like, I'm not giving you the click, I'll just get your update, thank you, because you're letting me know. You're not getting my advertising revenue, you're not getting my click, you're not getting a fucking thing from me, BuzzFeed, you piece of shit smear merchants, because that's what they want off you. They want the click, especially the angry ones. They do, and
everything's far right though now. What was it I saw today? Sorry to divert away.
You're all right.
Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. The tyres on his battle bus were slashed. He had kippers thrown at him.
Yeah, he got milkshaked as well, didn't he?
He got milkshaked, I believe, today or thereabouts. And in the report it said far right Carl Benjamin. Now, when I was growing up, granted, the world was black and white, and we didn't have real potatoes or some shit. Far right was the National Front. Far right were the bother boys that wanted to beat minorities, and just they worshipped the Nazis and shit. That was far right, not Sargon of Akkad. And we're seeing this with everyone. I was actually chatting. I'm not going to say what we're chatting about, with one of the guys from BitChute, because we just, after saying hello a couple of times, we chat, and I was pointing out to him that there's a guy from Vice that follows me, so I think I followed him back. I think, is it Mark Lemarou, something like that, and I clicked on one of his articles, and he said, popular with the far right, Gab and BitChute, so they're already casting that net, and I don't think BitChute are far right. I think some of the content might be. Well, I hate some of the content on there, but it doesn't mean I think it should be taken down.
They're a platform, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're a
exactly.
platform.
Exactly.
They aren't one thing or the other. They're just a platform.
So this is what we're living through, and they're going after this 14-year-old girl, and yeah, they're getting her a lot of followers. But we know what comes next, don't we? YouTube will shut her right the fuck down. That will happen. It's almost bound to happen, isn't it? They go, oh, just a bit too hateful for us, thanks.
Well, yeah, they're already updating. 2 videos have been removed. She's not allowed to post for 7 days, and the scumbags at BuzzFeed keep updating. Oh, an update on the story, guys! Another reason to click back on our website. Whereas they're the ones that are instigating it. It's cry bullying, isn't it? It's like, oh, these innocent journalists have got a thing, and they've already got it here where this girl Soph did a death threat against what's her name that runs YouTube. And it's like, so this 14-year-old girl who does abusive, shitposty, edgy content said they was going to kill the person that runs YouTube. It was obviously bullshit, but people are already running with it the way they do. And it's, yeah, of course it's not far right. And Carl Benjamin isn't far right. It's nonsense. But that's the label they use, isn't it? It's just smearing straight away.
Nazis.
Yeah.
Nazis.
It's like, well, that's the thing. It's They want you to assume Nazi, and that's exactly how it goes. And
was it Jess Phillips that literally called Count Dankula a Nazi? Quite literally called him a Nazi. Just I think it was a few days ago.
Yeah,
I could be wrong there. I think I'm right. It's getting scandalous, but you know, I worry where it's going. I think the far right has changed a lot because everything's shifted left.
Well, there's
what used to be
anymore.
Just conservative is now right wing, and what used to be fairly right wing is now far right. Just because it's moved over the other way, it's the left that's become more extreme, not the right. The right hasn't actually changed. I don't think conservatives have changed dramatically at all. I don't think the far right, the actual far right, has changed dramatically either. It's the left that has become more extreme. It's the left that have become authoritarian and fascistic and just more extreme, and that's what's happened. That's all that's happened.
That's not just an opinion. The data actually backs that up. You know, in terms of opinion polls, in terms of the people who get. I've not got it to hand right now because I didn't know we were going to go into this. But if you look at what people on the left and right got, what their policies were that got them voted in. You know, for like years and years, the left was saying, yeah, of course we need border security, you know, even just basic. And now, like, an increasing percentage of them are saying open borders, you know, any borders are racist. And that's how the left is moving. But interestingly enough, scumbags like BuzzFeed and Vox and Mike and all that, what they will then do is, as the right has stayed more or less the same, there's a little bit of an extreme thing there, but it's basically the same.
But there's always been one. There's always been one.
What's that, sorry?
There's always been an extreme part to the right.
There's extreme parts of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Nothing's changed over there.
But what's happened is, as the left has moved away, whereas like a genuine person who wants to represent the data accurately and say, well, this is the median point, this is why everything's getting so fucked up. But what BuzzFeed and Mike are doing is, rather than measuring the middle where it is, they're now measuring from over there. They're trying to bring the Overton window that way. And they're saying, look how far away those conservatives are. So even though they've not changed, they're so far away in terms of their opinions that they're now branding everyone far right. But they're destroying the meaning of it.
Yeah.
Bannon, that's why Bannon, he got sort of like criticized heavily in France when he said, you know, let them call you racist, let them call you everything under the sun. That dude is fucking smart, man. There's a reason he was saying that. And the left sort of said that as like, well, look at him. He's racist and proud. That was their interpretation of that. But what he was actually saying was, well, I'm not racist. But let them say it, because they're devaluing the meaning of the word to the point where they're just radicalizing themselves further. But it's not good.
No.
We can't do this. It's unsustainable.
Just had a comment in there from NPC saying you can buy Mein Kampf on Amazon, but not Tommy Robinson's books. And of course, actually, we use that. We call it the Amazon Nazi scale.
Yes.
And we use it to figure out who is actually provably using the Amazon scale worse than Hitler. And Tommy Robinson is actually worse than Hitler if you use the Amazon scale of worse than Hitlerness. It's an official measurement that we use here at Trigger Warning. Who's worse than Hitler? Tommy Robinson. And anyone else that's banned on Amazon, I don't know.
You know what? Honestly, I think the only person, apart from maybe specifically Manchester, but in terms of the EU elections, because it's the Northwest as a whole, isn't it? I think the only person right now, the only people keeping Tommy Robinson from becoming an MEP are the Brexit Party.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, obviously, Manchester's will tip the scale slightly in terms of this is just a weird Labour island where no matter how bad things get, people go vote Labour always. I don't know why, but I think the Greens and the Lib Dems are going to take a lot of votes here. And seriously, I'm leaning more every day. The more I see of him out on the campaign trail, what gets reported are the milkshakes that get thrown at him.
Oh, yeah,
but
of course.
What doesn't get shown, though, is him spending hours and hours and hours meeting people that hate him, meeting people that disagree with him. And he's getting it bit by bit. And I genuinely think he's going to do really well. I think he's got a very good shot of getting in as an MEP.
Possibly.
It's insane. But it's hard to say because everything's so up in the air.
Yeah, you never know where it's going to go, though. You never know where it's going to end. But I don't even know if I want to vote in the European elections, to be honest with you. I'm really not sure if I can be asked. But if I go in there, for whatever I think of Tommy Robinson and everything that's sprung up around him, it's a hard one to ignore, isn't it, when you see that box next to Tommy. It doesn't even say Tommy Robinson, also known as Stephen Yaxley Lennon. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do the usual, his real name's Stephen Yaxley Lennon.
Stephen Lennon, founder of the BNP.
You know his real name.
EDL. I always get that wrong, don't I?
You know his real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon.
Did you know that? I had someone saying to me, didn't I, a few weeks ago, like, it's important that, because some people don't know it yet. And I'm like, what do you think he's going to do? What do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to kill someone? And the police are going to be going like, well, there was this guy, Tommy, here. And the police are going to go, well, we were suspecting this guy, Stephen, but Tommy is obviously nothing like Stephen, so we're stumped. I guess he's got away with murder then, hasn't he? He's like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? He's a public
It's
thing.
something they have to do every article, isn't it? Every article.
Yeah.
Tommy Robinson. Also known as the real name, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, founder of the EDL, former football hooligan. It's like, yeah, we know now. We know. It's not even exciting anymore, It's.
I had a week where I told people off for dead naming, and someone actually fell for it. And had a go at me going, well, it's not really the same thing because it's a stage name. And it's like, oh, really? Well, some trannies have stage names, and and it's very, very rude to not use their stage name. So, if we're going to be consistent, let's be consistent. But it's funny, some people were really annoyed about Tommy Robinson going under as Tommy Robinson. That is what is going to be on the ballot paper. And they were like, this is disgraceful, it's fraud, blah, blah, blah. But nobody complained about Lord Buckethead. There was that. Everyone was fine with that.
Real name, don't know.
Real name. Nobody knows his real name because he's
I
not
know
one
his
of the
real
bad
name.
ones. I mean, people will do.
I know his real name.
Go on.
Stephen Yaxley Lennon.
Imagine if it was. If he'd have actually got in and he went.
It's like Spartacus, isn't it? Everyone,
Yeah.
I'm Stephen Yaxley Lennon. I hate that shit on Twitter. I shouldn't even joke about that. I'm this, I'm that. Someone tried to say to me once, will you put this hashtag in your thing? I'm Iran. I was like, no.
No.
I'm a despotic theocratic regime that sponsors terrorism in the region, but because I oppose it, America, I'm Iran. No, fuck off. Keep on.
Idiots. It's a weird one, isn't it? I honestly though, because the European elections are on a Thursday, but it takes ages because of the way it works and everything. They're probably going to announce it on the Sunday. It's usually a Sunday, and I'm really hoping. I'm going to be sat here with my whiskey.
Oh, it'd be delicious. It'd be hilarious.
That's all I want. I just want them to go, Tommy Robinson.
I think people have to be careful.
It'd be so funny.
Because this Brexit party,
yeah,
they're picking up a lot of votes.
Dude, this is gonna, all the warnings that people gave about not implementing Brexit, and they were like, "Oh well, what's going to happen? Eh? There's a million of us at this march. What they're going to do against a million of us?" And it's like, well, they're going to vote.
Problem is, everyone bought into that bullshit they read on Twitter, didn't it? All the people that voted,
Of course they
all
did.
the people that voted Brexit have died now. We'll be fine. We could just, let's elect David Lammy, and everything will be fine. And right now, if you ran a general election tomorrow, I think you'd have to be very careful.
Yeah, well, he's predicted 49 seats. I think that is.
That's a kingmaker.
I think 49 isn't even realistic. I think he would get a lot more than that. I think 75 to 100 at this point.
Well, we know that he'd be a kingmaker then.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's already whispers of both the Labour and Tories sort of snuggling up to do deals. He's doing so well.
I can't imagine Jeremy Corbyn and Nigel Farage.
No, he'll get in with Boris. It'll be Prime Minister Boris and Deputy Prime Minister Nigel Farage, and that'll be us for the next 5 years.
Oh, that would be fucking hilarious.
With Tommy Robinson.
The tears. No, and then Tommy can get into normal politics, regular politics, and he could be shadow foreign. He could be the foreign secretary.
He'd be coming and oh god, I can't wait. It's going to be such a fucking mess, and you know what? It's what we deserve.
Oh, it's going to be magnificent.
What we deserve. For every time one of you fuckers has clicked on a BuzzFeed article or Huffington Post, and every single person that's ever done that, which is all of us, this is what we deserve. This is the future we've had. Sitting there on Facebook for hours and hours, just feeding the beast.
How delicious if we wind up with Prime Minister Boris, Deputy PM Nigel Farage.
With his big fucking smile going and his pint.
I only hope I can take a week off whatever I'm doing when that happens and just stream and wallow in the tears and the venting and the protests. Oh, it'd be beautiful. Beautiful.
I think at this point though, it might be honestly, it might not be pretty, and it'll be a bumpy ride, but it might be what we need to reset the left. Because obviously there's just we need a healthy left and right, and the reason I slag off the left so much is because it's just gone off the fucking rails.
It used to be, and it's been a long time. I mean, Tony Blair was the death knell of it, but Labour used to represent the working man.
Yeah, exactly.
The Labour Party used to be for the working class, and the lower middle classes used to stand by them. But then New Labour, this centrist Blairite movement, changed it completely. And now what's happened is I do believe it's swung a little too far to the left as a response to that, to see if this will maybe work for them. And we've got Corbyn in, who really is only an activist. And it's just not going well for Labour. It's not working.
Well, Labour relied very heavily on their sort of like middle class, urban, like lots of Twitter followers, lots of reach, lots of, everyone just, they call them champagne socialists and all that bullshit, but I don't think that's a completely good way. But they relied very, very heavily on them lot. But them lot are all jumping to the Greens and Lib Dems now, and all the working class people, they're all signing up for fucking Brexit Party and Tommy Robinson. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've been seeing them now panicking. The amount of people that I've seen tweeting and retweeting about the fact that Anne Widdecombe, like a fundamentalist Christian Tory, is getting standing ovations in Yorkshire working men's clubs. That's where we are right now. That's the situation. And finally, I think Anne Widdecombe actually is the thing that's finally woken them up, because she was the evil Tory. She was a joke, and she's now going round the north of England and being hailed as a hero, and now Labour and the left are sort of going, oh shit, retweets, likes, Twitter pile-ons doesn't represent real life.
Doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean shit. Just gets newspaper articles to fan the flames, but at the end of it, it means fuck all. Listen, we're an hour and 25. We're getting close to. We're gonna have to stop at 1 hour 30. We really, really must. But before we go, we owe it to everybody to talk about Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Yeah.
Ben Shapiro came on British television And Andrew Neil, a conservative commenter, he handed Mr. Shapiro his ass. Now, here on Trigger Warning, whilst we might not agree with everything Ben Shapiro says, we do find him very entertaining. We enjoy watching him own the left. But it turns out that if he's not really well drilled and surprised, he gets owned. But here's the thing. He was predominantly asked questions about his own fucking book.
Yeah. Well, old tweets as well,
yeah,
wasn't it?
But, you know, it's like, you should be able to talk about those things. But yeah, he just stormed off, didn't he? He got his ass handed to him and stormed off. And
he did.
The previously invincible Ben Shapiro's looking a little more wobbly now.
Well, I think it's going to... I suspect in the long run, it's going to be very, very good for Ben Shapiro on the BBC, actually. The video alone has got 2.2 million views. 2.2 million. The BBC YouTube channel, the BBC, it's lucky to get 30,000. So this is this is up there with Clarkson getting interviewed after Top Gear finished.
Yeah.
You know, the big interview. This is on a level with that, and already after just a few days. So
I think it's great though that everybody, and I don't have any ill will towards Shapiro particularly, but everyone needs to remember you'll always bump into someone that's a little smarter and a little sharper than you. And I think he went on, he's very experienced with US TV, isn't he? Which I'm not saying, it's not this Americans are stupid, but the TV thing, you know, he might have been on more supportive ones or been on some car crash like fucking CNN.
Yeah, but he does. He's used to being combative in an American style, and I think that was it. He's got a book. It's been out. It's bestseller and all the rest of it. It's just been released in the UK. So I think what they've done is, and what they do to everyone, including you, is they got him on to talk about his new book. And so they've sold it to Ben Shapiro as a fluff piece, essentially.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then so he bumped into Andrew Neil.
Yeah, basically. So Ben Shapiro was obviously just expecting to basically read the back insert of his own book and go, yeah, it's been doing really well, blah, 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 cover a couple of points on it. And obviously they put him up against Andrew. Honestly, I really like both of them in terms of... their approach, and I think I tweeted them both. I tagged them both, or it was a reply to them both anyway. I want them to do it again or do something again, because I think if they were both just a little bit more open and less combative, just a little bit less, you know, and actually gave each other space to breathe rather than going, you said this in 2011. Well, I think it could be a really good interview.
But I think one of the things the British media is good at, well, there are many things, but one in particular is we always seem to breed these old school monsters on TV that don't rant and rave. They just calmly and carefully dismantle you if you step out of line.
Yeah.
Paxman was one of them. Whether you like him or not, he was an expert at that.
Very good at it, yeah.
One of them's just passed away now, Brian Walden. He died at the age of 86. I see when I was a kid I wasn't interested, but as I got older, I look back at it, especially when the internet came around. He was an ex-politician. So he was very good. He even got Margaret Thatcher wobbled. Look that one up. He got her on edge. He got her totally on edge. We do really well with these, and they don't go in for the histrionics. They don't dance around. They just, you know, if they've got glasses, they just look down at the notes, put them back on, and then they've got you, and they have you. And Andrew Neil, you know, but Shapiro himself said, didn't he? I got owned.
Oh yeah. Oh, he held his hands up and he said he got owned. Yeah, and he didn't prep and all the rest of it. And yeah.
I didn't know you were supposed to prep before you went in for an interview.
Well, it's because you know full well, man, because they do it to everyone. The politics show is the worst for that. The worst. So many people sit there and say, "You got me on here." Like, what's his name? Batten, Jared Batten. He's brilliant when he's on because he always plainly and clearly says what they told him he was there to talk about. And they always ask him about, like, Tommy Robinson and Carl Benjamin. It's like, this is not why you asked me here. And he'll say, the producers, he'll say who they were. They phoned me. I'm booked to talk about this. They're disgusting people, the producers for these programs.
Some of them are. Some of them are.
And they got him. They got Ben Shapiro good, really good.
Yeah.
Because he obviously just switch it on. You know, yeah. Can you imagine how many interviews he's done about his book?
But when they took me on Newsnet that night, when Paxman was there, I was shitting myself. People have commented as well, you look nervous, like I'm a pussy. Of course I was fucking nervous. I was terrified. He was really nice to me, and I managed to say exactly the right thing at the right time, because I think he would probably have savaged me.
Yeah. You got to be careful, man.
But I said, I made sure that I said the right thing at the right time. And he went and turned around and just laid it a little bit on the guy that was a hostage. But when they took me on that time with that yellow person, that's not being racist. He's just some American Jewish guy who's just bright yellow for some reason. I'm imagining some kind of cirrhosis or just, bad colour correction. They very much set out to ambush me with someone who, fortunately for me, again, wasn't as clever as he thought he was and slipped up near the end and just gave me an opportunity to get in there. But that's what they do. They set you up for a fall. Of course they do, because it's good television.
It's good TV, but you know what, man? It's on the way out. There's a reason why, people are abandoning it. People are going for long form. The Tulsi Gabbard, she's standing to be the Democrat nominee, and she's just done 2.5 hours on Joe Rogan. And I'm telling you what, man, I've got so much. I am so behind Tulsi now after seeing that. After seeing her talk for 15 minutes about social media and them dominating the public sphere and them dominating a full 15 minutes on Facebook and Twitter, and it's like the Andrew Neil thing was good. It was a good thing to watch in that moment, but it was that gotcha TV.
Yeah, of course.
Everything that Andrew was doing, he just had a list of things, and it was all designed to push Ben Shapiro's buttons, and it was all designed to get into Trip and get into Fire. And the problem is though, even though that's good TV and it makes a good segment, it's really, really bad for our culture, and it's bad, and it's bad for our collective consciousness.
Look what you see. You get people slagging off Joe Rogan because he's not confrontational.
Yeah.
He just talks to people, so therefore he's platforming people, which is a despicable fucking term. We had it when we interviewed Tommy Robinson on the Live Leak show back in the day. Because do you remember, right up to it, I didn't know which way I was going to go with it. Should I?
Oh yeah, we talked about it loads.
Yeah,
didn't we? We researched. Couldn't find a single thing racist that he'd actually said.
But up to 5 minutes before, I was thinking, should I go at him? And then I thought, you know what? No. I'm going to have a chat with him. I'm going to let him talk. Now, luckily, it turns out he was very chatty, to say the least.
He was. He got very excited, didn't he?
He was awfully giddy for that entire. I think he spoke for about an hour, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I think it's important that if we've got these, because when I had that other chap on, I've forgotten his name, the Muslim imam from that sect that's all about peace and.
Yeah, he was great.
Not Imam Twahidi. He was meant to come on, but he's too famous now. I afforded him the same privilege. Asked a few questions, let him explain things to me, because I don't interview a lot of people. I'm certainly not a great interviewer, but I always believe the idea of an interview is to let people understand people. So it's not about getting someone on a trigger warning and then just fucking have him, because you can do that. It's very easy to do that when you've got the power. No matter how clever they are or anything else, you sit around for a few days, you'll find a gotcha, you can level them. Everyone's got skeletons, okay? But I think it's interesting to learn about people, and that's something Joe Rogan does so well.
Yeah.
He does it so well. He doesn't need to be combative and terrible. He just has to let people talk, and that's what he does. He has a conversation with them, he has a few drinks with them, and smokes a bit of weed with them, and they all relax, and it's really brilliant. And I think we're going to go more towards that. I hope we are anyway. I really do.
Well, yeah, here's the way I see it, and I think it's a good way of putting it. In terms of long form and letting people speak, if you want to talk about platforming, then yeah. But what that is doing is letting the audience hear what they have to think. It's not telling them what to think. It's letting them hear that point of view and respecting them enough to come to their own conclusions. Yes. They could be like, well, I like that point. I didn't agree with that, blah, blah, blah. And that's the newer way of doing things. Long form, 3-hour long conversations, The old form, which Andrew O'Neill and the BBC and all them lot are amazing at, is they want a sound bite. They want 3 minutes. So what they're doing before it even gets to your eyes and ears, is they're deciding what they want you to take away from it.
Yes, yeah, it's about the editorial.
And that's the editorial difference. It's so they want to challenge. They want to make out that Ben Shapiro is a racist or a white supremacist or whatever, or that they tried to trigger him on his views on abortion by describing it as barbaric, didn't they? So it's these, and the thing is, you can respect that for its precision and its craft, because the likes of Andrew do that very, very well, but it's not good enough anymore. And although I will say this in Andrew's defense, though, within that very restrictive, archaic format, he does very well.
He does.
If you ever watch, is it this week? The thing on After Question Time. It's really fucking good.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's brilliant at what he does. I don't care what anyone says. Just got to set aside your politics. But Graham, it's been 1 hour and 36 minutes.
Oh, dude.
Paul says he's got to go. So do we, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, though, everyone.
The original doc has just pointed out when Hayden says we need to go in 5 minutes, that's your 25-minute warning. Pretty much.
Well, I did have one. Yeah, I did have one thing.
What's that? Go on.
Well, it was a teacher in Portland, Oregon, which is obviously the source of all things evil right now. And a teacher has decided that a 2nd grade boy is trans because he won't use the boys' bathroom. And this teacher has been caught indoctrinating a 2nd grade boy into being trans, and the parents have sued and they've got 1 million in damages, because the only thing that had happened was, it turns out the boy had gas. That was it. he was farty, he was windy, he was worried about shitting himself, so he didn't want to go to the bathroom. These things happen to very, very young kids, but the teacher decided, not just
very young kids.
Yeah, this teacher decided that this kid was transgender, and just basically sent him home saying, no, it's because you're a girl.
Oh.
And they've won. They won the lawsuit.
Good. So they should win the fucking lawsuit.
You imagine sending your 8-year-old boy to school and he comes back saying, I'm a girl now. And you're like, well, and then not only that, this is the issue at the moment, and this is one of the problems we've got with this sort of trans activism rather than trans people, is that teacher genuinely thought they were doing the right thing. And that 8-year-old stuck in with them hours and hours a day, brainwashed. Then they get someone from one of these nonsense places like Mermaids in to support them. And before you know it, you've got even more affirmation. Well, it's fine that you're a girl.
I hope that teacher goes on thinking they're doing good things on fucking unemployment.
Yeah, well, me too. Yeah. But this is the thing then, though. Doctors step in, school boards step in, and before you know it, you as a parent might be stood in court being told, if you don't stop referring to your boy as a boy, you're going to have your kid taken off you. And before you know it, it's just part of the system. And
Mermaids are encouraging that, aren't they? They love that sort of thing where.
Oh yeah. And this is because there's a lot of people who don't really know anything about it, but have doctor before their name stepping in and talking about how proud and brilliant it is. And
if families even disagree, they can find themselves on the wrong side of the law now. If one parent's going, hang on a minute, I'm not sure about this. Sock Dog has just subscribed.
And it's
one away.
That was it.
One away.
Are we one away from 1,000?
Well,
guys.
I think we're one away.
We just dinged to 1,000.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
1,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
That's not even in focus. Never mind. 1,000 subscribers. Insane. Wow.
Very happy.
That's awesome.
I've got Social Blade open, so it was a whole dramatic ding-a-ling. Oh, thank you guys. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for everything.
Thank you, Julian. And thank you, everyone that's helped us get to 1,000. That was one of the milestones we really just wanted to see. Like, can we get to 1,000? Can we do that? Because it's not just about the monetization, because, let's be honest, what's it worth? $3 a month?
Yeah, that's not the point. That's not the point.
It's we do this because we love talking to you guys, and I'm really excited now. 1,000 people,
I know.
1,000 subs.
I'm gonna go wake Soph up, darling.
I'm gonna watch Z
Nothing's
Nation.
gonna happen because I'm knackered. It's too late, so I'm gonna wake her up, get her a little bit excited, and then be like, "Oh no, I'm too tired."
That's it now.
So frustration is in the air tonight.
1,000 subs. That's so fucking awesome.
I know. We get to apply now, don't we?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit on the fact that we got 1,000 subs. That just makes me feel really fucking good. You know, Joe Public just unsubbed the brick.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. That's fine. I'm not asked.
We got there. It doesn't matter. You can't take it away from us. We got there. We reached it. You can't take that back.
Mr. Kilsey is saying the problem is with teachers, they have never left the liberal left education system. Well, this is the issue, right? If somebody that didn't know anything about cars taught my 8-year-old daughter to fix a car engine, and I just accepted it as true, and then I gave her a car to fix, she's going to end up chopping one of her fingers off, isn't she? Or burning herself, or setting fire to her. And this is the problem at the moment, and this is the issue. These teachers don't know enough about it, but yet they're blasting in, and that's the thing. And unfortunately, what gets hidden behind is that, like, well, do you have a problem with teachers teaching that some people are gay, or teaching that some people have got 2 dads or 2 mums? It's like, do you have a problem with that? And it's like, well, no, of course I don't. Like, that's fine. Of course, that's letting them know about the world that they live in. That's fine. The problem is that there's the World Health Organization right now is putting out guidance about teaching 4-year-olds about masturbation. That's the problem. It's like you're getting me to agree to it on the banner of, like, well, there's nothing wrong with 2 dads, is there? And it's like, well, of course there's not. But it's the fact that you're going into all this shit. Don't be telling my 4-year-old about self-pleasuring. That's not for you. And I don't want to be all... The problem is that this kind of almost sounds a bit like sort of fundamentalist Christian nonsense, doesn't it? But it's like, no, there's just some things, right? Because, of course, 4-year-olds touch themselves. But can you just teach them to write? And I'll deal with that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not going to get it right. And you might do with certain things, okay? I'm all for teenagers watching videos of shagging. You know what I mean? They have the special sex education. Stick on a video. Look, she's getting pink. This is what happens. Go for it. Do that. But
I don't think you have to worry about teenagers watching shagging videos, mate. I think they've got that one well in hand.
I know, but I get that, and I get the argument for it, and I'm behind that. But when somebody is deciding that an 8-year-old is trans, it's like, whoa, because trans isn't just being attracted to someone of the same sex as you. It's not even close to in the same league as that. It's a very, very complicated, multifaceted issue, which has so many things as part of it. You know, one of them being you being gay or bi, and that forming within you. But there's other things. There's other things about the fact that you've actually got body dysmorphia, and that shit takes a long time to come in. And as puberty hits, it can be an insanely... And none of this is for a fucking maths teacher to deal with.
No.
Or never mind a general needs teacher. That's... I'm
PE
sorry,
teacher.
Well, yeah, PE teachers were great for back in the old days. They let you know what sex you were. You either loved it or you hated it.
Greg, we gotta go, dude. It's 1 hour 45. We've gotta go. I don't want to because we hit 1,000.
I know.
And kind of buzzing about that. But thanks, guys. Thank you so much. It was just one of those milestones. We just, like, wow, can we get 1,000 subs? Can we do it? And it's exciting.
Fuck the fact that one of you, like 2 of you, have unsubbed since we hit 1,000.
Doesn't matter.
So
Doesn't matter. We did it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I know. We did.
It's all that matters, That's the big thing. We did that. So, now 2,000. We'll see where we go from there. Guys, thank you so much for watching if you joined us on YouTube, or listening if you're listening to the podcast. Remember, we do lots and lots of shows now with content released virtually every day via one of our channels anyway, usually on the YouTube channel. On Sunday at 12 in the afternoon, you got Graham doing TW Sunday or Trigger Warning Sundays straight away after Richie Allen's not quite as good show on a different channel. Every Tuesday we did a live podcast right here on YouTube, and then on Thursday we have the big show, which is at 10 p.m. UK time. You can watch that on YouTube and of course on the mightylively.com, and you can watch everything via triggerwarning.tv/live. So we have content every day. We've got stuff coming out all the time. The podcast is released every Wednesday. And as we can get more funding in, we will do more shows. We'll do more exclusive content. We'll do all those things. But the main thing is thank you so much, even though a couple of you bastards just unsubbed for the badness of it.
That's what I'm watching now. It's just going, ooh.
But thank you so much for helping us just get to that one milestone, even if it was for 5 minutes. You've no idea what it means. You really haven't. It's well, I'm sure some of you have. Some of you have probably got far more, but what it means to us anyway. When we just started a little while ago and saying, should we just try and do a bit more with this?
Yeah, because YouTube was like a backup stream for a long time, wasn't it? And then we were like, should we get on it? Guys, I'm not going to play Detroit Become Human tonight. No. It's too late. It's
12:15.
I'll do it tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
So the last thing I'd like to leave you with, we're not going to go begging for money again. We'll say join our Telegram channel. It's Trigger Warning TV on Telegram. Join that. You'll never miss another notification. We'll spam the shit out of you on there. And we're often available just to hang out and chat on there as well, because it's on our mobile phones, and Graham and I are just like messaging app whores. That's what we do. But yeah, get on Telegram, where we can't really be dicked with too much. And you'll be told everything that's going on, all the shows that are coming up, all the things we're doing, and then, like I say, sometimes we just hang out and chat. So, I guess, dude, until next time, that's it, isn't it, really?
Yeah, links to everything in the description. It's all there. Just go and have a look. And
the podcast, by the way, podomatic.com, Stitcher, Spotify. Ooh. Somewhere else, and iTunes. And if you've got one of those magic Google things in your house like we have, you just say, okay Google. Oh shit, hang on.
No, you don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, my phone's heard me. Oh, it's telling me I didn't write turd. I didn't say turd. Just say play Trigger Warning podcast and we'll come booming out of your device, because we're on Google Podcasts as well. Guys, until we see you or speak to you again, thank you very much for your attention, and thanks for helping us briefly hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. I fucking love you guys. That's awesome. Bye-bye.
It's time to shout to clouds. It's Trigger Warning.